Josh Richards says Corinna Kopf is capping about only being with Logan Paul this year. Josh just said he knows for fact Corinna is capping, aka lying, when she says she's only been with Logan Paul this year. Josh and Corinna were supposed to go on a date recently, but both can't decide who flaked on who. The BFFs podcast is calling out Corinna for not coming on their show and then going on Logan Paul's Impaulsive podcast. Josh Richards thinks Corinna Kopf went on Logan's podcast over BFFs because Corinna has been intimate with Logan recently, which Corinna confirms on Impaulsive, claiming that Logan is actually the only person she's been with this year. But Josh thinks Corinna is capping about the number of people she's been with this year. As he said on BFFs, I know she's capping. I know for a fact she's capping, which, how would Josh know that for a fact? Did he actually end up going on that date with Corinna, perhaps in a hotel room? I mean, saying you know for a fact is a pretty bold statement. So Josh, of course, knows something that we all don't know about. Maybe the two did end up meeting up secretly. Maybe Josh has a friend, a mutual friend with Corinna that he knows another story about, but we'll have to stay tuned. On BFFs, Dave Portnoy says Corinna just went on Impaulsive after turning down coming on BFFs podcast because she doesn't do podcasts. As Dave said on BFFs, Corinna told me when we tried to get her that I don't do podcasts. Dave then claims he DM'd Corinna when he saw she was on Logan Paul's podcast saying, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. And Corinna responded with a crying emoji. Josh says that after that, Corinna might have to be on the shh list now. That she doesn't do podcasts, and that if she did do a podcast, it would be Logan's podcast first. So, I mean, yes, it's not necessarily a good look, but I do think that there is some tension there. I mean, the last we heard, Josh and Corinna had a rain check of a date. So we know that then there was a narrative that Josh rejected Corinna, so maybe she didn't really like that and is playing a little hard to get, but we'll have to just wait to see if she goes on the BFFs podcast. According to the BFFs producer, Corinna did admit on Impaulsive that she doesn't do podcasts, as I just said, but she always told herself if she ever was to do a podcast, Impaulsive would be the first one she would do. So there is a chance that now that Corinna has done Impaulsive, she might be open to going on BFFs. Dave, Josh, and Brianna likely want to have Corinna on their podcast because she was recently a topic of discussion on their show. Josh claimed he canceled a date with Corinna, which she later denied, saying she was the one who flaked. It's possible they want to figure out who canceled on who on their podcast. Yeah, I mean, there's Josh's story, there's Corinna's story, and there's the truth. We want to know who flaked on who. We also want to know who's Josh talking about. I mean, he said for a fact he knows that she's capping. So I'm going to take it to the chat now and see what you guys are saying. Let's see. Oh, hi. Hello. M is saying hi. Hollywire. Hello to Abigail. What do you guys think about Corinna and Josh? Do you think it makes sense why she didn't go on the BFFs podcast? Maybe she doesn't want to discuss this topic of discussion of their date and who flaked on who. Do you agree that it also makes sense that she did go on Logan Paul's podcast because they do have a history and a background story there? They did get intimate, as Corinna confirmed herself, so it only makes sense that she would show some favoritism towards Logan's podcast before the BFFs. I understand why Dave and Josh are upset. This happens often with them. I mean, they really want people on their podcast, and of course your ego is going to be a little hurt if someone denies going on it or rejects you, but I do think Corinna knows what she's doing here, and I think she kind of wants that whole narrative of who rejected who to kind of simmer down. But I have a feeling that she'll be on the podcast in the future. But right now, Impaulsive is where she's at. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. And if you're just joining us, make sure you're subscribed to Hollywire for your 24/7 celebrity news. Give us some love in the comments and a like. We're talking about Josh Richards and Corinna Kopf. And do you guys think that they did actually meet up and go on a date? I'm interested to hear that because Josh kind of alluded to the fact that he knows that Logan Paul is not the only guy that Corinna has been with this year. So was he talking about himself, or was he talking about another guy that Corinna may have been with that Josh knows some insider information about? Let us know in the chat. Em just said she's 25 and Josh turned 19. It's a little bit weird, but age is just a number. Yeah, you know, age is just a number. It's all about attitude. We see a lot of that happening today in the world. Of course, Scott Disick, Amelia Hamlin. I mean, they have I'm not even going to do the math right now, a large age difference. Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde, another big age difference. It happens, but yes, there is a definite age difference there. So it is interesting. Abigail says, I think they would be good together. Yeah, they are both influencers. They are very accustomed to this world and kind of being in the public eye. It would make sense. And they did say that they rain check, meaning that there is a date possibly to be scheduled in the future. We don't know if that's going to happen. Do you guys want to see Corinna on BFFs podcast? Or do you kind of respect that she said she doesn't do podcasts and she's only going to do Logan's podcast? What do you guys think? Josh is so young, so he does have time to kind of be singy for the summer, as we know. He's playing the field. We've seen him with a lot of different girls this summer, and everyone wants to ship him now that he's single, but maybe he's just not interested in doing that right now. He's focusing on his career. He has a lot going on. I mean, he's killing it. Kelsey says, I think she does podcasts. She's been on David's. That's right. She did mention that Impaulsive wasn't the first podcast. She has been on another podcast before, but she did mention that maybe she'll be more open to it in the future. I think we're going to see her on BFFs podcast in the future. What do you guys think? Let's see. I also agree that Josh and Corinna would be good together. A lot of you guys are saying that because, like I said, they have a lot in common. They're in this influencer world. They both, are all over TikTok doing their thing. They have a lot of mutual friends. I could see them possibly doing something in the future, but right now it is time for some Hollywire trivia. Come play along with me, answer the questions in the chat. Today we're talking about Jaden Hossler, and we're starting off with when is Jaden's birthday? Any Jaden fans in the chat, let me know. Is it February 8th? Is it March 8th, February 18th, or March 18th? What do you guys think? We have 2 Februarys and 2 March, so I'm gonna say it's in February or March, just a thought. But I'm gonna go with February 8th. All right, 1 out of 1. Moving on to what state is Jaden from? Is he from Texas? Is he from California, Tennessee, or Arizona? Now, I know this answer, so I'm gonna give you guys some time in the chat to play along. We know that he has been in both states of Texas and Tennessee. So I think it's one of those two. What do you guys think? All right, M. M says Texas. We're going to go with M. All right, 2 out of 2. Moving on to how many siblings does Jaden have? 1, 2, 3, or 4 siblings? Ooh, well, we know he's not an only child because there is no 0 in these answers. So does anybody know? I think he only has 1 sibling, if I am not mistaken. So, Abigail is saying 3. I'm going to go with 1. Oh, it's 2. We have a 1 in the middle. All right, what was Jaden's debut single? Was it Think About Me, Angels and Demons, So What, or Comatose? I also know this answer, so I'm going to give you time in the chat to play along. What do you guys think? Do you know the answer? What was Jaden's debut single? Think About Me, Comatose, So What, or Angels and Demons? All right, we're going to go with Angels. Oh, it was Comatose. I actually did not know that answer. Angels and Demons was his second single. All right, moving on to who is Jaden dating? Is it Mads Lewis? Oh, we're getting shady in this. Nessa Barrett, Charlie Jordan, or Addison Rae? I think we all know this answer. If you've been following along at Hollywire, you definitely know this answer the past few months. We're gonna go with Nessa Barrett. All right, moving on to what is Jaden's album titled? Is it Think About Me, Tomorrow, Tonight, or Tell Me About Tomorrow? What do you guys think in the chat? Think About Me, Tonight, Tomorrow, or Tell Me About Tomorrow? Does anybody know? Play along with us. All right, we're gonna go with Tell Me About Tomorrow. Moving on to what is Jaden's zodiac sign? Is he an Aries, a Pisces, a Leo, or an Aquarius? All right, so his birthday was February 8th. Now, as a fellow Aquarian, I'm gonna go with Aquarius. All right, anyone that knows the zodiac sign, that question was easy. Moving on to what is Jaden's music name? Is it JXDin, Jaden, Hostler, or JYDNXX? I think we all know this answer. If you're a fan of Jaden Hostler, it's JXDN, pronounced Jaden. All right, 6 out of 8, not bad on this Thursday, everyone. So as you know, we're talking about Josh Richards and Corinna Kopf. What do you guys think? Do you think that they potentially had a date? And do you think we'll see Corinna on the BFFs podcast in the future? I'm Alex Schiffman, and follow us at Hollywire for your 24/7 celebrity news.